Hello, I'm Judith and this is Cristy, and we are currently sweating in the polytunnels at Tomnah'a Market Garden, which is a 5-acre site where we grow cut flowers, vegetables, soft fruit. We have some laying hens and all sorts of other things as well. This is our 5th growing season, and we sell to lots of different places, and lots of people come to our farm to pick up their produce and flowers. We have local customers who get bouquets delivered, and our veg box customers are in more or less a 5-mile radius of the field, which is pretty great seeing as we are in rural Perthshire. And we also supply restaurants and shops within a 5-mile radius.
We were established to provide flowers and produce for the local community, so even though we are working towards getting our flowers further afield, we are all about local. Where we're based, there's a big wedding venue here that normally does lots and lots of weddings in the season, so we grow our flowers. We offer DIY flower buckets but also full wedding floristry service, and that is normally the biggest chunk of our floristry business, but because of the current world pandemic we are not doing any of those this year, and we're just selling flowers to our local veg box customers, local people ordering bouquets, and also selling to local florists wholesale. I'm just watching the bees here. There's about 6 bees and some hoverflies hovering about. Bumblebees, honeybees, hoverflies, and they're enjoying this agastache, which has self-seeded everywhere, which is a very useful foliage but not a very useful flower, primarily for the bees. We've got quite a few things that they're enjoying at the moment, like verbascum and various things.
There's a local beekeeper just on the corner of our field, so we get lovely honey from all these guys.
The other noise you can hear is traffic. We're on the road between Crieff and Comrie in Perthshire, and we're based at Comrie Croft, which is a eco-tourist business. We've really experimented over the last few years with different things, and we're getting closer to knowing what it is that we want to grow and who we're growing for, what we want to specialise in. But it's taken a while of experimenting to get to that point.
Yeah, it's been interesting how the flower market has changed. Since COVID kind of came to Britain, the Dutch flower market seemed to collapse suddenly, and there was a huge demand for local flowers, but it was right in April when we were just sowing the seeds and weren't sure what to do. But then the Dutch market kind of opened up again, and there was less of a demand, so we've been kind of trying all these different things. But it's been great getting our flowers further out to other shops, where people can experience what local flowers are like and smell like, because they're quite different to what are usually available in flower shops.
That's one thing we've really, well, not all of our flowers, but we've really tried to grow things that have a significant fragrance.
Like this smells, it's called anise hyssop. It smells of licorice. It's nice.
And we took a bucket to someone this morning that smelled amazing, because it had that in it, plus dill and
rose geranium.
What was that?
Geranium.
Rose geranium and ginger mint, and it was lovely. It's really lovely. So if my daughter smells those smells individually somewhere else, she comments that she can smell Tomnah'a.
Oh.
It's the dill, mint, and rose geranium. We should have a perfume.
It's not smelling so great just now, as it's very hot in here.
It's really not smelling great over where we sewed the foxgloves yesterday because of those chickens. No, that's just chickens, isn't it? Chickens just smell.
Yeah. Poor guys.
Well, I came to cut flower growing from a floristry background, and a real frustration with working in conventional flower shops and using imported flowers. And I really thought there would be a market, particularly here at Comrie Croft, where there's like a sustainable eco atmosphere and outlook on things, that people would really want to have weddings where they knew that the flowers they were using had a very small carbon footprint and no flower miles, and were part of a lovely sustainable environment. And that has definitely been the case.
Me and my partner Sam, before here, we were doing community gardening and kind of educational growing with schools and things. growing experience on a small scale with people, but we wanted it to be financially sustainable and actually make a living from growing produce in the land. And I really like the idea of growing cut flowers alongside with all that, so we could do something more creative with the things that were being grown, because it's great growing vegetables, but it can get a bit boring as well. So it's really nice to make things at the end of the week with all the things we've been harvesting, and it keeps it really interesting. And whenever we're picking, we're always finding new treasures.
It's nice to pick for wedding arches or something different. We know we grow certain things for certain purposes. So we had a lot of flowers growing this season that were event flowers.
We like having a mixed farm where we're growing a diversity of different crops. They help each other out, like companion planting. And so all these different plants create loads of different habitats for loads of different insects. Frogs, toads. So there's loads of sparrows, you might be able to hear them, that are really good at, they've kind of learnt to catch insects in the polytunnel as they get caught in the sides. And there's been so many sparrows this year. They go around in gangs. Yeah. So we are trying to encourage predators like stoats and buzzards and things that can catch the voles, because they're a real problem for seedlings. They really like nibbling through baby plants at the beginning of the season. And then there's kites that swarm,
I forgot about them.
fly above and try and catch them. Yeah, you always hear that diversity is good, and so it seemed like a really nice fit for a market garden to grow cut flowers.